Season 7, Episode 6, Forever Philly.
Yeah, let's see.
Uh, so, change is a thing.
Yes, yes, it is.
Uh,
Yep.
it's good callback to it. Kind of it shows that Rarity did take Sisterhood of Social to heart. You know, wanting to do things Sweetie Belle wants to do, but she just didn't keep that list updated.
Yeah, it's like people who never update Windows.
Oh, they're hurting. Um, and we just had that big update for Windows, the Creator Update.
We
Not a
did.
big- I did on 10. I updated it a couple days ago.
Oh, I'm not on my computer very often, so I probably will end up having that update when I go back on it, like
Yeah.
properly.
Sorry.
So with Forever Philly, so we start off. We're in Rarity's Canterlot boutique. And apparently they don't have a back room. Well, they have a back room. We saw that in, what was that? The episode where she makes the princess dress a whole bunch. I can't remember the name of the episode off the top of my head. And there's a leaf blower breaking my concentration. But it was, we know there was a back room there, but like all of the sales floor space is just covered in mess. It's like we knew also that Rarity does her kind of creative method requires a bit of mess, considering she got upset at Sweetie Belle for
Cleaning.
cleaning up,
Cleaning,
organizing.
yes.
Oh no, I don't know what I was doing anymore because we messed it up.
She has organized chaos. It's all cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. We find out Sassy is actually, for some extra characterization for her, that she is actually the panicky type. Well, Rarity, for the most part, when it comes to the business, is just the cool cucumber.
Well, she has 3 stores, so she knows her business.
Yeah. Well, she has to either get used to that sort of stress and know how to deal with it, or go insane. And so she chose to learn how to deal with it. I still love that, and I'll keep saying this every time we see Rarity cry. It's an animation thing that it's subtle, but I really love it. Is that every time we see Rarity cry, you always see gray tears instead of the usual kind of bluish tears because of the makeup. I love that. So she wants to go see Sweetie Belle because she hasn't seen her in a while. She's been busy, cats in the cradle sort of thing. So apparently the CMC, being multifaceted as they are also expert quarry workers.
Apparently.
And they do help with help Chip Cutter figure out that he is indeed a sculptor.
Well, he could have been a, something else that cuts and chips.
He could have worked in a factory making chocolate chips for baking.
Yeah, or maybe he's just a chip off the old block.
But I do like the fact that this has got to be coming from, like, one of their, one of their departments, one of their legal departments or something. standards and practices or something, that Chip, when he goes to pull out everything, he puts on a pair of goggles. It's like it's pragmatic, and it's something he would do, but it's nice to see it actually done instead of just, oh yes, I am a magical horse. I no longer need to worry about safety.
Mm-hmm.
That had to come.
I mean, it's one thing if you're making sculptures out of, food.
Yeah.
But if you're sculpting things out of, stone that's going to shoot in your face.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we now, for him at least, apparently, whatever you're good at, you're instantly good at, because he went from, I'm not sure if I should be a rock sculptor, to, yes, I've made a flawless sculpture of you three on a pedestal.
When do I get my cutie mark?
When you finally are good at something.
Oh, so never?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or when you pick out what kind of swords you want crossed, because I think, remember, your cutie mark was your proposed cutie mark was 2 swords crossed. You just need to decide.
No, it was just 1 sword on fire.
Ah, okay.
But when he finally decides what kind of sword he wants on fire, that's when he gets his cutie mark. Which I don't really get why he has a sword on fire.
Well, actually, it was 2 swords
crossed.
Actually, it's 2 swords crossed. I don't know where the sword on fire came from, but that sounds pretty cool.
Oh.
There you go. Give him ideas.
So what? You're a forger? You're a blacksmith?
Anyway, there's a tangent for another time. So we go to the clubhouse and realize where they used to have that kind of check-off list of, where what activities they'd already tried. They've now replaced that with a wall of pictures of satisfied customers and nuclear vessels. Let's see. And so we get Chip and Pip and Diamond Tiara and Bulk, as well as family and themselves. Rarity drops in unannounced. Apparently, Blackhawk is somebody who's doing experimental theater. So Sweetie is into Blackhawk's experimental theater. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to entail, but it sounds very hipstery.
Well, maybe the hockey team is trying out their point at being actors.
Maybe it's Ice Capades.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's Ice Capades. They already know how to skate.
Kate's Little Mermaid.
That is an AHL hockey joke for our international fans. Let's see. They go to Sweetie's favorite ice cream shop from when she was a filly, which makes me wonder, is there more than one ice cream shop in Ponyville? It's a rather small town, so...
Yeah, I mean, we have one cake shop, it looks like.
Yeah, this is the only one in
Ice cream is more popular.
Yeah, it may be. Yeah, I don't know whether the ice cream we have one or more than one. As far as I know, and we go and we get the. They go and get the tiniest ice cream in the world. And why would you want that that tiny ice cream? I mean, I guess it was bigger when she was a filly.
Yeah, but even as a foal, that would still be tiny.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's the tiniest in the world.
Bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive skill that you can. It's like writing on rice. It's an impressive little skill, but to make those little clowns so well formed out of the ice cream, but still,
Why would
yes, the ice cream at the end of the episode. That's too big, but it's at least understandable why you would go for it. Remember, kids, don't eat anything bigger than your head.
Yep.
Let's see. But Sweetie wanted a salad. Okay.
Yeah, who gets a salad?
So, well, I mean, is this her getting into a concern about her? I'm reading way too much into this. Concerned about her weight? Is she kind of going into that, kind of teenage girl that some of them go through where they're super worried about their weight and it's like, oh, I want a salad instead.
Oh, she's getting kind of chubby. She's putting on those pounds.
it's because of all of those people who have all of those Tumblr accounts with chubby Sweetie Belle and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I am unaware of some of the things. I'm aware of many of the things, but not all of the things. So, there is one thing I do like about this episode is that everything works towards the final kind of revelation. We get the A plot with Rarity and Sweetie Belle, and then we get the B plot with Zipper Will and her puppy.
Bobby.
But it helps. Like some reviewers have said, it is actually kind of works more towards older siblings, which this more works more for older siblings. But I guess it works also with the dog example as well. It's kind of trying to make it understandable to their actual target demographic, so they actually learn the lesson before they actually ever need it. But I like that's kind of a nice, tightly written bit right there. Sweetie Belle has the "kill me now" face during the photo shoot, just like, yeah, this is no longer me. I'm curious as to what her actual, she's into experimental theater. Like, what else is Sweetie Belle into now? Is she becoming more kind of hipstery or kind of punky and just like, it's not a phase, Mom, sort of. But I wonder about that. And then we get the poor balloon guy. He's trying. It's like, oh, I'm going to make a heart. I'm going to make a little heart for Rarity, and just to show her, hey, this is how I feel, and then just kind of goes, oh yeah, no, thank you. I'm going to completely no-sell that attempt. He's just like, oh.
I know, it's so sad.
It's odd how she doesn't even notice, though, that she's not having fun. It's just like, no, I'm not having fun. This is really boring. But, okay, sure.
Yeah, well, I think she kind of noticed at the theater. She asked a little bit about that, and she asks each time, but she doesn't take the hint from each time. She asks each time when Sweetie Belle looks like she's not really drinking. I seem to remember. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, but she seems to ask, like, when she starts to show that she's really not into it. she seems to ask, but she just doesn't get that. Yeah, a lot of her interests have changed since the last time she did these activities, and some of it she admits is a little selfish in that she remembers doing these things with her, and she wasn't uh, aware that the last time they did it would be the last time they did that thing.
I know, it's so sad.
But yeah, exactly where they are in their development makes me. I wonder, like, when they were first introduced, the CMC were kids. They were, you know, between 5 and 10, somewhere in there, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And now they seem to be kind of on the cusp of being teenagers. From the way they seem to act in some of the, their interests are changing. You know, we have all this going on, these little changes, which makes me wonder if we get a season 8, if we're going, or later this season, if we're going to see them change the CMC models a little bit and make them a little more like, maybe not, it'll be subtle, it'll be less, jarring than, going from where they are now to, say, what Applejack looked like in Where the Apple Lies, I think is in that episode. That kind of teenager, kind of gangly look Applejack had. Then again, if they say there's a little time skip, and they go, they introduce them as, oh, this is them now, I would be interested in seeing if they're going to do that eventually. I mean, if it goes long enough, eventually they will have to, because they will eventually just grow up. And, it should be interesting to see, and whether they're going to, they did kind of the romance thing with Big Mac, but, are they going to do any more with that? They probably did it with Big Mac because it was easy enough to get away from that, and it wouldn't interfere with if they wanted to do something else with the main 6 at any time. They didn't have that in the way. They could still cover what they wanted to cover, which I think, is that the next episode, or?
Yeah.
Anyway, I forget.
I think it's the next.
If it's not, it's the 3rd episode today. But yeah, that way they could cover the lesson they wanted to learn without subjecting the main 6 to any major character shift that they would have to write around. And like I said before, they celebrate their reunion when moving forward with 2 huge Sundays. It's just, way too big. It's like,
But I want
find the balance
Sunday.
there, Sweetie Belle. But anyway, anybody got any final thoughts other than?
No, it was a pretty good episode all around.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think it really teaches, especially like if parents are watching, like your kid gets older and they don't like the stuff that they used to. Although for me, I like to look back on it.
Yeah, and it may also explain to the kids that, yeah, adults don't always see you changing. It's so gradual that, so be patient and be clear with them, when your tastes change, because, they have other things they do, and they don't always notice your changes because they sometimes happen gradually, and sometimes you don't talk about them. So sometimes, they're trying to do stuff. They're trying to do stuff you'd like, but
Mhm.
they don't know it when you change. They don't always see you change because it happens so slowly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so yeah, each story built on the other, and it made it for a nice episode. If there's nothing else, I think that's this episode.